Oh,
Hello, we are Geeks Assembled, and me and Susan today are discussing a 2001 movie by Steven Spielberg, originally penciled in for Stanley Kubrick, but Spielberg took over the reins when he passed, and Susan's gone into the darkness again. Oh, here we are. Um, we are talking everything AI, artificial intelligence, of how one, I was going to say dream, but it's not a real boy, is it? The hopes and dreams of the the mecha toy, whatever you want to call it, David, uh, wanting to become a real boy. It's an updated of Pinocchio, really, isn't it? With the because the blue fairy gets referenced in this. Um, you've got Haley Joel Osment in this, Jude Law as the two main AIs in this. Um, and it spans many years, this movie. Um, yeah, David is created to take the place of a young boy who's in a coma, and the parents, just can't get over him being not there. So they get this AI to sort of fill the gap of their son. But then, of course, the son gets better, comes out of the coma, and comes home, and this is where the story starts. Really,
yep,
David is sort of left behind to fend for himself.
yep.
No, but enough of me going on. Susan, AI, what's your take on it?
All right. Well, right now it's very it's a good time to be reviewing this one, and then there's some other ones that we should review, like Megan. Megan is a current version of this, only it's a horror story. Um, AI was it was kind of like it was kind of in the vein of Blade Runner.
Hmm.
There was a lot of like androids versus humans sort of pitted against each other. It wasn't in the it wasn't a robot in the vein of Asimov, and it wasn't in the vein of Bradbury. This is sort of a this is more wish fulfillment, and I can see why Kubrick. Actually, I don't know. I I could see Kubrick doing this, brilliantly. I mean, he did do he did do tear he did tear into things that were quite substantial back in the day. Um yeah, so parents, um Monica and Henry, Francis O'Connor and Sam Robards. Sam Robards is like the son of Jason Robards, and Jason Robards was just like this major Hollywood feature.
Yeah.
And anyway, so that was cool seeing him. And it was also a bit like Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, in that you kind of went into this he David, the robot David, went into this factory that was making, versions of himself, and he had to figure out what to do and try to meet the leader of the factory. the difference between this and Pinocchio was that in Pinocchio, Geppetto was really involved in his life until he became a real boy.
Mhm.
In this one, the family, Henry, and also the creator, played by William Hurt, Professor Hobby. Um, they didn't really get, promise to stay with this robot boy. They kind of were they had other intentions for this. The father, because his son came back, the creator, because he had a whole warehouse. Well, it's not really a warehouse. They were pretty individually made, but there was about 30 of them on 30 like girl robots and 30 boy robots. And so, he had plenty of experience. But this one, the difference was this one achieved, besides being artificially intelligent, this one achieved a degree of sentience. And sentience is something that is part of the discussion right now with things like chat gpx or chat gpt, excuse me, and the ais that are doing the paintings,
Mhm.
the music, and the imagery, and all these creative processes. And so, because there's a sense that these processes need to be organic, need to be something that's like really human. People are really kind of, I don't know about this. It's just due to the fact that it's so challenging to have something that we've created achieve more than us and sentience and stuff. Like, oops,
Ooh, got into this. Oh, oh.
here we go.
There
And
we go.
and in this was also Clark Gregg was in it. Coulson, you saw him for a little bit. He was one of the people who worked for the company creating the AI. And you know, then at the end, all these yeah, so it is this long story. It's like a story that is kind of as long as Asimov's. So that's why I think that Kubrick could have done it real justice, especially the end part.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying there, but this
But
is
yeah, like, I don't know. Um, like, there's so much going on in terms of this this robot becoming the ward of that other robot played by Jude Law.
Mhm.
Also, I mean, this robot is always looking for a father. It's basically that search for a father mythos that Joseph Campbell talks about, that really inspired basically Star Wars.
Mm.
is basically the search for father. Anyway, interesting stuff. I enjoyed it a lot. Um, I think what we're gonna have to review Megan at some point soon
Mm-hmm.
because that's a very current version, quasi horror movie version of this. Anyway, what about you?
Well, this was sort of a horror movie as well, though. Really, what what David went through. Um, it's an enjoyable watch, but you're sitting there watching it, and you get to the end of the movie, and you think there's something missing from it. I don't know what though. You think there's something missing, and I just can't put my finger on it. But great performances. I mean, we've mentioned Jude Law's Gigolo Joe. Well, what is it? He's an escort, really, isn't he? A robotic escort with music in his head every time he does that. But it's like that. Yeah, he was set up for murder, so he goes on the run. If we go by the laws of Asimov, he would have been found innocent because
Yep,
they can't harm, they can't kill.
right.
So that's broke the laws of Asimov if they believed that he did it.
Yep,
Um, and you last saw him being pulled up into the sky, and you think it is what you want to know what happens to Gigolo Joe,
yeah.
but you don't. You don't find anything. Maybe it's these loose ends. What I thought was missing. Um, you had
You kind of want the parents to be brought to account.
yeah, yeah. I mean, David was so in love with his adopted mother, but she was as bad as the father.
Mhm.
Okay, okay, she didn't take him back to the laboratories to be shut down because she couldn't make herself do that. But she dumped him in the woods, left him there to fend for himself. Um, I mean, okay, he's artificial, but he's only, he hasn't got the knowledge of the world. He's still got a mind of a boy.
Right.
Um,
And he hasn't been download anything about nature downloaded.
no, and when he does meet his creator, Dr. Hobby, you find out that David was the original, based on his son, because you see all the family photographs of David.
Mhm.
So you realise that William Hurt's character is just will not let his son die.
Right.
So that's an obsession. Uh,
Yeah.
but and then you get the where they're David and Teddy are trapped in ice for 2,000 years.
I don't know.
2,000 years, and then the alien life forms come and set them free.
I thought those were liquid metal robots.
There were well, no, there were because you saw them coming in their ships over the plains. So I'm assuming they were alien life forms. What have discovered David and Teddy under the ice because they were what do you call it? They wanted to know about the history of the planet. They wanted to know the history of humankind, and David was the last remaining source of knowledge.
Yeah, because he was the one
Lived through
who'd,
all that.
who'd actually interacted with humans.
Yeah. Um, and then so they brought his adopted mother back to life for one day. I mean that scene was just where he spent that day playing with her, and and then she goes to sleep and she won't wake up. And then he goes to sleep, shuts down, so he dies. I mean,
Yeah.
that's not explained at the end, but he does. He shuts down. He dies.
Yeah.
Um, so that leaves poor Teddy on his own, just sat there on the bed watching him, which I felt sorry for Teddy. Um, trust me to feel sorry for a teddy bear, but
I know. Oh, Lee, that's so sweet.
he'd gone through all that look, by David's side, looking after him, caring for him while he was out there in the open world, and then he's left there just on his own. I mean, I suppose the aliens, I don't know, help him or something, but it
Yeah.
was a bit. I mean, when David died, I wasn't really tearful, but when I thought, oh, Teddy's left on his own, I sort of welled up. Um,
Oh,
and then,
that's really sweet.
but but then you get going back through the movie though. You got the flesh fair,
Yeah.
where you saw how humankind can be so cruel,
Despicable.
despicable, downright low to well, I don't know what you call it, to another type of life form.
Oh my gosh, it's like the Roman
Yeah, um,
Colosseum all over again.
just for fun. That's all they were doing it for.
Yeah.
And then you had what was his name? Brendan Gleeson
Oh my gosh, you're right.
was there. I mean that because it is quite a slow movie, and then when it picks up pace when you go to the flesh fair because that is just sort of all action. Then it slows down again. But some some of the, I mean, who you got in here? I mean, some of the voices. Doctor No, played by Robin Williams.
I know.
The specialist, the alien specialist, Ben Kingsley.
Yeah.
Um, Meryl Streep as the Blue Fairy.
Yeah.
Uh, Chris Rock as the comedian robot, what got blasted through from a cannon.
Yeah.
Um,
And he's really timely because he just finished a comedy routine all about the slap that was heard around the world. That's amazing.
but
And Enrico Colatoni, who was in Galaxy Quest and a bunch of other cool things. He played
the murderer.
he played the murderer.
Mm. I mean, some great names, even if you don't see the faces in the film. Oh, Jack Angel as well as the voice of Teddy, very well known voice actor.
Yeah.
Um, but you've got to give the biggest thumbs up to Haley
Yep.
because for how old was he when he did this?
I don't know. He
Was
was a
he?
kid, like
Yeah, he
like
was.
7 or 8.
Oh, I don't know, but he to to carry this movie, to play the innocence of a young boy, but also a boy what's not real, and to pull that off as to convince the audience, such an amazing job.
Yep.
Um, Jude Law Jude Law was playing sort of Jude Law as he does.
As he
Uh,
does.
Gigolo Joe with the dance steps of Fred Astaire and Gene Kelly
Yep.
to boot. But I agree what you said about it being sort of reminiscent of Blade Runner.
Yes.
The skylines, the streets. It
That
was,
that that flesh fair with like what you fly in through the mouth,
yeah.
and it was like a mouth that was obviously perfectly circle for the insertion of a cock. You know what I'm saying?
I don't know what you're talking about.
It was obviously oral sex, like that whole thing.
It was, but to say that the scenery, to say all the neon, it was reminiscent of Blade Runner. But to say if you're doing a futuristic story, steal from the best, I suppose.
Yep.
And Blade Runner is one of the best. So I'll pass it back to you then, Susan. AI.
So like besides the mouth that was obviously intimating oral sex, there was let's go into like that one nightclub was named after a person, and you'd walk in through her genitals. That was incredibly, I mean, like there was just nothing that was at that point. The whole thing was just, it was I'm not blushing, I just shut off my camera again. I just got, it was incredibly, it was incredibly hypersexualized. But the important thing to realize is that even though Gigolo Joe was around, you didn't see him, take off his kit and shake his naughty bits at you at all in this movie. But it was still, super sexualized, and that was really interesting, because they had to balance that, because the AI kid was so young, and like that I mean, they couldn't, it would have been too jarring had it gone all the way. So Gigolo Joe had to have a smaller part. Not that I meant a smaller role.
Yeah, that's better.
Jesus. And oh god, I'm blushing now.
Yeah, because apparently Joe was well endowed.
Yeah. Apparently he can make you feel things you never felt before.
And I bet you he had also a homosexual switch where he could just turn off and on.
Oh, he was definitely everything to everybody.
Yeah.
He was definitely everything to everybody. I mean, he was not in any way hetero. He was just everything to everybody. He was pansexual. There you go. Let's see. The other thing that was really interesting was the way that the flesh fair also felt a bit like the way that the robot wars that they've got going on right now kind of feel.
Yeah.
There's that thing going on. And then the other thing is, as much as as we worry about these AIs becoming able to do masterpieces, the AI of David was did childish pictures.
Yeah.
He was programmed to paint childishly. He wasn't programmed to draw on all the masters of the and because this was because this movie was from 2001, the internet was pretty small potatoes at this point yet. Facebook hadn't started. I mean, none of the big monster tech sources had started their their websites yet. I think MySpace started the next year.
Mm.
So I think that there was, there was little bits and pieces of the internet that were around, but not the big glorious thing that's like that it's now. So it's tough for an AI. It would have been tougher for an AI to learn everything. Anyway, I think that at that point they could, I don't know, but so um Haley Joel Osment and his brother were in this. Um, but Haley did the most kick-ass job. You're right about that.
Oh yeah.
Um, he was a really serious actor, and in his childhood he did some super serious roles, and this was one of them.
Well, this and for me, this and Sixth
Sixth
Sense
Sense.
stands out.
Yeah,
But it,
he was and perhaps still is really super talented, really super, you know, uh professional, able to do amazing things. Anyway, those are my favorite moments and things.
mm,
What about you?
um, uh, I I just like the way the innocence of the character David, wants to please,
Yeah.
um, wants to be involved. So when his mother's sat on the toilet, I, I found you. Um, well, she shoves him in a cupboard and leaves him there for about 3 hours. This is a game. So innocent.
Yeah.
Um,
And then all those kids push him to the bottom of the pool
they're just teasing and teasing him. Got at the bottom of the pool.
with his
When
brother.
he gets the blame
Yep.
and just thrown into the wilderness with Teddy. Just shows you how those two parents didn't really care because their real son was a nasty piece of work, really.
Yeah.
Um,
Didn't fall far from the tree.
yeah, uh, but he was so taken in by the love for the mother. I think she did like him because I think she did start to love him. I think this is why she set him free. But to leave him to leave him all alone
Which
in the
was safer, all alone in the wilderness or with
yeah,
her son?
yeah, which I couldn't grasp that.
Yeah.
Because she
But
could see,
as a parent, would you be able to change the son that was still in working through disabilities? You know, back at 25, 30 years ago, excuse me, um it were parents equipped to really train up a child who with disabilities to be super respectful and stuff. It was hard to do.
yeah,
I mean,
uh,
this one, my significant other here, my fiance, my erstwhile hubby, his mother really raised him up to be super respectful, and I mean that was really different. A lot of the people I know who are disabled, their parents just kind of gave up on them. It's weird, but it's true. Anyway,
mm. uh, Say for me, I'll go back to Teddy again. That was
You do. That is the character that really resonated with you.
well, he was left there to look after him. He was there. Once they got separated, Teddy was looking for him. He
Yeah,
was going through that flesh fair, trying to find him, trying to get him out of things.
yeah,
He was there constantly by his side.
yeah.
2,000 years. She's a long, 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 long time. Um, to just be left there when he goes, you know, just sat there on the edge of the bed. I want to know what happened to Teddy.
You think that Teddy became a real boy?
Well, no, because he was a teddy bear.
A
Don't be
real
silly.
bear.
I don't know. I mean, did the aliens take him apart for parts? I don't know.
I don't think those were aliens. I think those were 41st century robotic life forms. Yeah,
Right, hold on. 2,000 years later, humanity has become extinct. Mecha have evolved.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So these are liquids. These are liquid formed. You
Aliens.
know, it's okay. It because it's called AI. They had to show an evolution towards each robot being autonomous intellectually, and then connected with everybody else. I don't know.
Well, they shouldn't have made him look so alien-like.
Yeah, you're right.
But
But maybe
yeah,
that's the natural form for this planet.
you never know.
You never
But
know.
this cost $100 million to make.
And how much did it make in?
Well, 235
Okay,
million.
it doubled its money.
Yeah, but uh, the way the Hollywood works, that would mostly count as a flop, wouldn't it? Really,
Oh, oh, okay.
if you doubled it, but if they had quadrupled it, they'd be happy, wouldn't they?
I guess you're right.
But but it's an enjoyable movie. So, if got anything else, or should we go to Final Saints Go?
Mm, talked about Megan. Talked about Chat GPT. Um,
Mm-hmm.
Also, for those of you out there that would like to have AI write your theses or write your papers for school or do your homework for you, or create your documents for your job or whatever you I would just I would just assume that you guys do it yourself, because if you keep this thing going, even if you get something really terrible happening with your body, if your brain is still, you know, if you're still using it, you won't go downhill as fast. So just remember, do as much as you can for yourself, by yourself, and don't rely on Chat GPT to be your brain. Use
Mm-hmm.
your own natural intelligence. Don't rely on artificial intelligence, because anybody who's watching Geeks Assemble has necessarily passed through a threshold of intellectual integrity that I assume for you. Don't don't use AI. Use your intellect. Okay. Yes. And super great discussion today.
Mm-hmm.
Lots of stuff we talked about.
Yeah. So what would you give this one then?
Oh, I'd give this one a 9.5 out of 10. 9.5 blue fairy statues out of 10.
Well, I would go nine and
Voiced
a half.
by Meryl Streep. Oh my God, I didn't even notice.
I would go 9.5 to say there was just something missing, and I just can't put my finger on it. So 9.5. Teddy's out of 10 for me.
Of course,
Uh,
that's your standing.
but yeah,
Yeah.
so and of course I've got it on DVD.
Yep.
So that's our little review of AI, artificial intelligence. Um, you guys leave a comment below, be it Twitter, be it YouTube, be it Facebook or Insta. We're on all platforms. The links go up for these to watch on all of them. If you'd like to be involved a little bit more in the group or on these vidcasts, just say, leave us a message, leave us a comment. You've got to be 18 plus, have a PC or a laptop or a tablet or a mobile phone, because mobile phones these days you can do anything with. Uh,
They have
camera,
better cameras than
yeah,
most laptops and most PCs.
yeah. So, but it needs, yeah, as we say, it needs a camera and a microphone. And you'll be in. Um, and you can join us talking movies, talking TV, talking audio dramas, or whatever we decide to do that week, be it from what decade, what genre, because we
Mhm.
we just cross every
Mhm.
line of genre. So just get in touch. That's all we need you to do. Get in touch and say, can I be involved in this, or can I join? And it's free.
Yep.
We yeah, we don't charge you. So that's oh yeah, also as well, once you do subscribe to our YouTube channel, please remember to press the bell notification button, and you'll know that we put a new video up. Maybe 2 a week these days, because we're fairly busy.
Yeah.
So we work during the days. Sundays is the only time we can really get together and sit down for an hour or two and discuss these things.
Yep.
So that's it. Until next time, guys, be safe. And as Susan says, use that more. So, bye for now.